Welcome back to the channel JF Coin, where we dive into the hidden value lying in everyday coins. If you thought a penny was just worth 1 cent, think again. Today we're uncovering everything about the 1977 D Ultra Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Moneybags, stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know how to spot the rare ones, what makes them valuable, the history behind them, and the current market value collectors are paying, including a type that has been known to fetch over $400 and even up to $7,000 or more in rare conditions. I scroll the story behind the 1977 Lincoln penny. Let's start with some history. United States. In 1977, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies in 3 different mints: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, the famous D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. Proof coins. The Denver version, the 1977 D Lincoln penny, was made in huge quantities, with over 4 billion struck that year. So on the surface, it's just a 1 cent coin. But some of these coins have special characteristics that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Brain why some pennies are worth more than 1 cent. Most 1977 D pennies are worth their face value, just 1 cent. But there's hidden magic for collectors in the form of errors and condition. Here's how an otherwise ordinary small coin can be worth big bucks. Magnifying glass tilted right. 1. Error coins. The true TRESURES certain pennies were struck with mistakes at the mint, and that's where the value skyrockets. Collision double die obverse, DDO. This is one of the most sought after errors. You'll see doubled letters on Liberty, or the date. 1977. This kind of doubling is not normal, and coins like this can trade for hundreds to several thousands of dollars at auction depending on how strong the doubling appears and the condition of the coin. Some of these mistakes have sold for as much as $7,000 on the collector market when graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Repeat button off-center strikes. These are coins where the design wasn't centered correctly during striking. Some of these are only worth a few dollars. But if the off-center error is large and still shows the full date and mint mark, prices can go into the hundreds. Cross mark. No mint mark. Errors. Since the Denver Mint coins should have AD under the date, a penny that should have AD but doesn't could be an error. These no mint mark coins can also fetch between hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on condition. Trophy grading and condition. The numismatic differentia coins condition determines how much collectors will pay. Coins that are circulated, worn and seen everyday use are often just a few cents or a couple dollars. Uncirculated, MS65 and above, look brand new, can be worth tens to thousands. Collectors especially prize the red RD color variety. These coins still have their original copper luster and command much higher prices. For example, Sparkles, a typical circulated 1977 D penny, a few cents. Sparkles, an uncirculated high-grade 1977 D penny, $20 plus or much more. Sparkles, extremely rare error coins, $500 to $7,000 plus at auction. Money with wings. What is the 1977 D Ultra Lincoln penny worth now? So here's the burning question: what is the current market value? Heavy checkmark, 1977 D penny, often only worth its face value or a few cents and change. Heavy checkmark, high grade uncirculated 1977 D. Usually between $3 and $20 plus. Heavy checkmark, rare errors, like doubled dies, off-center, no mint mark, can be worth anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on rarity and grade. Asterisk, some have reached $7,000 plus. Asterisk, that means a coin you found in your pocket change could be worth $442, $500, $1,000 or much more, even though most are just 1 cent. Exploding head. How to check your coin for value before you get too excited. Here's how to tell if yours might be valuable. Magnifying glass tilted left. 1. Look at the mint mark. The tiny letter under the date, D for Denver, is important. Magnifying glass tilted left. 2. Magnified details, double letters, especially on Liberty, 1977, or In God We Trust, signal a valuable error. Magnifying glass tilted left. 3. Condition matters. A shiny red uncirculated coin always brings more money. Magnifying glass tilted left 4. Weigh it. Genuine copper coins weigh about 3.11 grams. Magnifying glass tilted left 5. Get graded. Professional grading, PCGS/NGC, massively boosts value for rare coins. Direct hit final takeaways for collectors and treasure hunters. Backhand index pointing right. Don't just toss those old pennies. Backhand index pointing right. Check them carefully. You might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Remember, the value isn't just a number online. True value comes from existence of rare errors plus condition plus authenticated grading. And while most 1970 pennies are not worth a fortune, the rare ones have made some collectors very happy, with sale prices in the hundreds to thousands of dollars. Megaphone, drop a comment below if you want me to help estimate your coin's value. I'll walk you through it step by step. Push pin, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell because your next treasure might be waiting in your pocket change. Sparkles, would you like a shorter version, a voiceover script, or on-screen text version for recording? I can make one. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of US coins. And not just any coin, we're talking about the iconic 1969 Lincoln penny, a 1-cent piece that could be way more valuable than you ever imagined. If you've ever found a penny and wondered, could this be worth money? This video is for you. So smash that like, hit subscribe, and let's uncover the hidden treasure in your pocket change. 1. What is the 1969 Lincoln penny? The 1969 Lincoln penny is a United States 1-cent coin featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. In 1969, the U.S. Mint struck millions of pennies, but only a tiny fraction have captured the attention of collectors around the world. Most 1969 pennies you see are absolutely common, worth their face value, or slightly more because they're made of copper. But, and this is a huge but, there's one rare variety that's totally legendary in the coin world. Light bulb 2. Common 1969 penny values. The basics. Let's start with the bread and butter. Small blue diamond 1969 Lincoln penny, Philadelphia. No mint mark, worth about a few cents to under $1 in typical condition. Small blue diamond 1969D, Denver. Also common, generally worth a small premium in uncirculated condition. Small blue diamond 1969S, San Francisco. Regular strikes, a bit rarer, but still usually worth just a couple of dollars unless in perfect uncirculated condition. So for most of these pennies, unless they're uncirculated and in perfect condition, we're talking face value to a few dollars. Nothing too crazy, until we talk about errors. Magnifying glass tilted right 3. What makes some 1969 pennies so valuable? Here's where things get exciting. There is a very rare and highly sought-after error variety known as the Sparkles 1969 S double die obverse Lincoln cent Sparkles. This isn't a regular penny. It's a minting error that happened during production at the San Francisco Mint. Instead of a normal, clear design, the coin's front was struck with misaligned dies, causing dramatic doubling of the lettering and numbers, especially on heavy check mark, Liberty, heavy check mark, In God We Trust, heavy check mark, the date, 1969. This doubling isn't subtle, it's bold and unmistakable to the trained eye. Trophy 4. Why is this error so valuable? Great question. The value comes down to 3 main things. United States 1. Extreme rarity. Only a small number of these error coins are known to exist. Estimates put it under 100 authentic examples ever certified. Magnifying glass tilted right 2. Stunning visual impact. The doubling is dramatic. You don't need a magnifying glass to see it. That visual doubling makes it a prime favorite among collectors. Money bag 3. Elite numismatic status. These coins are considered some of the most legendary modern U.S. error coins. Serious collectors are willing to pay huge amounts for certified examples. Dollar banknote 5. So, what is it really worth? Here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Some genuine 1969 S double die obverse Lincoln cents have changed hands for tens of thousands of dollars, and even 6-figure sums. Here are real market figures from auction records, pushpin certified high-grade examples. Gemstone $100,000 to $140,000 plus in top grades, with rare specimens going much higher. Pushpins. Some coins graded MS65 or higher have values estimated well over $150,000. That's not pocket change. That's major collectible money. And while you might see outrageous prices online claiming millions for these coins, the real documented auction sales are what matter most. Magnifying glass tilted left 6. How to spot one of these rare pennies if you think you might have one. Here's what to look for. Magnifying glass tilted right, double letters and numbers. Look closely at the letters in Liberty and the date. If you see thick doubling that looks like two overlapping sets of letters, that's a sign. Magnifying glass tilted right, not machine doubling. There's a big difference between machine doubling, common and worthless, and true double die doubling, rare and valuable. The real double die looks bold and intentional across many letters and the date. Magnifying glass tilted right grading is key. If you think you have one, get it professionally graded by PCGS, NGC, or another trusted service. That authentication is what gives it market value. Chart increasing 7. Why collectors love this. Penny collecting isn't just about money, it's about history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. Heavy check mark, every coin tells a story. Heavy check mark, every error has a reason. Heavy check mark, and every rare find connects us to the art and science of minting. Imagine finding one of these in pocket change, a jar, or your grandparents' old coin box. Many collectors have, and it changed their lives. Brain 8. Final thoughts and tips. Pushpin. Most 1969 pennies are common, and worth pennies or just a few dollars. Pushpin, but the rare 1969's double die obverse. That's where the real treasure lies. Pushpin. Always verify with a professional grading service before believing huge price claims. You might already have a tiny fortune in your pocket. Clapperboard outro. Call to action. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to find more hidden coin treasures with me, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Drop a comment below if you think you have a rare coin. I might help you check it out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting those coins. Moneybag Red Heart United States. If you want, I can also help write a video title, thumbnail text ideas, or chapter timestamps for this video. Let me know. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating modern coins that many people overlook every single day, the 2003 Lincoln penny, the 1-cent coin that might be sitting in your pocket change right now and might be worth way more than you think if you stick around until the end. I am going to show you some incredible stories of rare varieties and why some versions of this humble penny are now worth hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. Let's get into it. Opening story. Imagine walking into your living room, dumping a jar of loose coins onto your table, and suddenly you spot something that doesn't look quite right. Maybe the lettering looks strange, maybe the date seems off, maybe the design looks shifted slightly. Now what you are holding could be one of those rare coins that collectors hunt for and pay big money for. Those tiny slips of metal that most people treat as trash could actually be treasure. And while the average 2003 penny is just that 1-cent regular pocket change, some rare versions today have sold for unbelievable prices, and the story behind how and why these coins became valuable is truly fascinating. History of the 2003 Lincoln PNNY. In 2003, the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents across 3 different mint facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, which uses no mint mark, the Denver Mint, which uses a small letter D, and the San Francisco Mint, which produced very special proof coins for collectors. These coins all feature the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a design that has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1959. But in 2003 there were some unusual varieties and minting errors that have made certain examples highly sought after. Today most of the pennies that were made that year were standard circulation strikes, and most of them are still worth face value. However, the coins that escaped the mint, with mistakes or in perfect pristine condition, now attract attention from collectors all around the world. For the basic statistics, a normal circulated 2003 penny is just worth 1 cent, but if your coin is uncirculated or has errors and is professionally graded, the value can skyrocket, and some have been recorded at several $100s or more. Why most 2003 pennies are common? So the first thing you need to understand is that the vast majority of 2003 pennies are completely ordinary, and worth only face value 1 cent. These coins were made in massive numbers and most have been in circulation for years and years. If you find a worn 2003 penny in your change that looks rusty or used, it is almost always only worth that penny you paid for it. These pennies after 1982 are mostly made of zinc with just a thin copper plating, which makes them inexpensive and not rare in most grades. How some 2003 pennies became valuable, but here is where it gets exciting. When a coin leaves the mint, that is, struck incorrectly or has some unusual quirks, it becomes limited and interesting to collectors. And believe it or not, some of the rare error varieties that came out of the 2003 production line are now commanding hundreds of dollars on the open market. For example, coins with misaligned dies, filled die errors, broad strike errors, partial collar strike errors, or off-center strikes can be worth hundreds even in everyday grades, depending on how dramatic the mistake is and whether it was professionally graded. These errors occur when the coin blank does not sit perfectly in the press or something obstructs the die during striking and the resulting image looks abnormal or off-center. Collectors are willing to pay significant money for these kinds of coins. Misaligned die coins, or broad strike errors, are particularly sought after because they look so unusual and collectors always want the most dramatic mistakes they can get. Their prices can range from a couple $100s to well over $900 depending on condition and rarity. The highest market sales. Now here's where it gets absolutely jaw-dropping. Some certified examples of certain 2003 penny errors have sold for amazing sums at auction. There have been misaligned die coins graded at MS65 that sold for nearly $700 and broad strike error pennies graded MS64 that went for over $900. These are real market results from serious coin auctions. These examples go to show just how much collectors value unique mint errors and why even a common date like 2003 can sometimes turn into a treasure hunt rather than a simple piece of pocket change. Unique sales records and what to look for. So what should you look for when checking your 2003 pennies? Here are a few things that immediately raise red flags and make collectors take notice. First, look at where the date and lettering are. Is the date sharp and clear, or does it look weak or filled? And that could indicate a filled die error. Second, check if the coin is off-center or misaligned where the design is shifted to one side. Third, look for doubling on the letters or date, which can mean machine doubling or even a double die error, and those can make a coin highly collectible. And finally, check the rim. If the coin looks thinner, wider, or weirdly shaped, this could be from a broad strike error or a lack of proper collar usage during striking. These are all features that drive collector interest and can turn an average penny into a high-value collectible. Proof and special mints coins. But it's not just errors that can add value. The proof coins from the San Francisco Mint struck in deep cameo finish were made especially for collectors, and these also tend to be worth more than face value depending on condition. In perfect deep cameo proof grades, they might be listed at much higher values than a typical circulation strike proof because of the mirror contrast and quality of strike that makes these proof versions a great find for people who might come across them in old proof sets or collections rather than pocket change. So what is this $442 value you heard about? Now a lot of people watching titles that say, "This penny is worth $442 or more," are referring to real auction sale results for certain error pennies or high-grade examples that have been verified by professional graders. What that means is that someone paid that amount at auction for a graded coin with specific error or condition. Rare coins trade at variable prices, and if your coin matches one of those special categories, it could sell around that ballpark. But remember that price is for a very specific rare version. Not every 2003 penny you own. Regular circulated ones are still just 1 cent, and uncirculated common strikes are generally only modestly above face value unless they show those unusual features. Real data from multiple collector guides and price records show these ranges and auction hits over the years. Tips for selling, or grading. If you believe you have a rare 2003 penny, here's what you should do. First, handle the coin carefully. Do not scratch or clean it. Getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC can unlock its true market value. Most collectors and serious buyers want certified coins because they confirm authenticity and grade. If you just have a regular penny with no errors, it might not be worth grading, but if it looks odd or unusual, get it checked out. You can also consult local coin dealers or trusted online auction sites to compare similar coin sales before you decide how to sell. Conclusion and final TOUGHTS. So there you have it, the Humble 2003 Lincoln penny, a coin that most people toss in a jar or use for everyday purchases, but which also has the potential to unlock surprising value if it has the right characteristics. Most 2003 pennies are worth just face value, but certain rare era coins and high-condition strikes have sold for hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. The next time you dig through your change, take a closer look at those pennies, because you might just be sitting on something far more valuable than you thought. If you enjoyed this video, and want me to break down other coins like the 1969 penny or the super rare copper steel errors, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a treasure hunt update. Would you like me to tailor it further for SEO optimization or help you create on-screen graphics and narration timing cues for your YouTube video? Today we're diving into one of the most surprisingly valuable modern coins in the USA. The 2016 1-cent Lincoln penny. You've probably got hundreds of these in your jars, drawers, or even loose change. But what if I told you that some of them could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? Stick with me to learn how to spot the valuable ones, history, market prices, and the shocking records these pennies have smashed. Firebrain Chapter 1. A tiny coin with a big story. 0:30 to 2 o'clock. The Lincoln penny series began way back in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the 100th anniversary of his birth. But 2016 isn't just another modern coin year. It carries the iconic Union Shield design on the back, symbolizing unity and strength of the United States. These 2016 pennies were minted in massive numbers at multiple mints. Round pushpin Philadelphia, no mint mark, billions made. Round pushpin Denver, D mint mark, billions more. Round pushpin San Francisco, S mint mark. Proof coins for collectors. Most of them were standard circulating coins. But that's where things get interesting. Money Bag Chapter 2, Face Value versus Collector. Value, 2 to 4 o'clock. Let's make one thing clear. Right arrow, a regular 2016 Lincoln penny out of your pocket is still worth 1 cent. Or slightly more if it's in pristine condition, maybe 10, 30 cents. But here's the twist. Some 2016 pennies have special features and can be worth way more than their face value. Backhand index pointing down. Look at these real examples from the market. Direct hit uncirculated MS68 RD 2016 Philadelphia penny sold at auction for nearly $900 USD. Yes, nearly $1,000 for a coin that was once worth only 1 cent. Now that is insane. Magnifying glass tilted right Chapter 3. What makes them valuable? 4 to 7 o'clock. So how do people find these rare treasures in something as common as a penny? Backhand index pointing down. Here are the key things coin buyers and collectors look for. 1. Condition. Grading. Coins are graded from poor to perfect, and those in mint state with original red luster are the most desirable. Firecracker. 2. Errors and varieties. These include heavy checkmark doubled dies, heavy checkmark misplaced mint marks, heavy checkmark clad errors, heavy checkmark die cracks. According to expert numismatic sources, certain 2016 pennies with unusual striking errors have brought in hundreds of dollars at auctions. For example, a 2016 D penny with a misplaced mint mark once sold $4.15. 3. Proof coins. 2016 S. Pennies minted at the San Francisco Mint are proof coins with mirror-like surfaces. These are already more collectible than circulating cents, and certain high-grade proofs can be worth $5 to $18 or more. Receipt Chapter 4. True Rarity. Miracle Finds. 7 to 10 o'clock. Here's where coin collecting gets downright thrilling. Imagine sorting through a jar of pennies and discovering one coin among billions that could be worth hundreds of dollars. That's exactly what happened with a few extraordinary 2016 examples that hit the market. MS68, deep cameo proofs, or dramatic error coins. These bring attention from collectors worldwide. And while most of us don't find coins worth hundreds every day, one discovery can completely change your coin jar fortune. Money with Wings chart increasing. Chapter 5. What's the current market value? 10 to 12 o'clock. Here's a quick snapshot of current values. 2026 market dollar banknote standard circulated 2016 penny. Face value, 1 cent, dollar banknote uncirculated, UNC, Nice condition. 10 cent to $1 gemstone proof 2016 S coins. $3. $20 plus fire rare errors / high grade fines. Hundreds. Reports up to $899 plus, yes. While many mainstream listings online try to sell random pennies for hundreds or thousands, the market price only goes high if the coin has documented rarity, grade, or recorded auction result. Brain Chapter 6. Tips for coin hunters, 12 to 1400 hours. If you want to hunt for valuable 2016 pennies, here are pro tips. Magnifying glass tilted left 1. Look for brilliant red color, RD, these often grade higher. Magnifying glass tilted left 2. Check mint marks. S proofs are collectible. P and D can be surprises. Magnifying glass tilted left 3. Don't ignore errors. Misstrikes and double dies are where the big money shows up. And don't forget, always compare with trusted price guides, and if you think you found something rare, get it graded by a professional grading service. Outro. Final thoughts. 1400 hours. Yendi. So next time you dig out your pocket change, don't just throw away that penny. The 2016 Lincoln cent might seem ordinary, but every once in a while, it hides a tiny piece of coin collecting legend. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and smash that bell icon so you won't miss future coin treasure hunts. And drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable penny? Let's talk about it. Backhand index pointing down light bulb. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting. Want this script adapted for shorts or Instagram reels too? Just ask.